Have you ever watched someone steal your entire life's work and smile while doing it? Maya did, and what she did next changed everything. It started in a tiny commercial kitchen where two best friends were building something beautiful together. For 3 years, Maya and Claire had poured everything into Sweet Haven Bakery, splitting every decision, every late night, every success down the middle. Maya handled the actual baking. The recipes were all hers, perfected since culinary school. Claire managed the business side, bookings, invoices, client relationships, social media. It seemed like the perfect partnership. They'd even signed papers making it official, though looking back, Maya realized she'd been too trusting about the details. The first red flag came on a Tuesday morning when Maya arrived to find the locks changed. Her key wouldn't turn. Her hands started shaking as she tried it again and again. When she finally called Claire, her best friend's voice was cold, businesslike, unrecognizable. "The business is going in a new direction," Claire said flatly. "I've consulted with a lawyer. Based on the partnership structure, I have majority control. Your services are no longer needed." Maya couldn't breathe. Services? They'd built this together from nothing. She'd invested her entire savings, her grandmother's recipes, 3 years of 18-hour days. Over the next week, Maya discovered the full scope of the betrayal. Claire had been slowly transferring client contacts to a personal database. She'd copied every recipe Maya had ever written down at work. The business bank account had been drained to just $300. Claire claimed the rest was operational expenses, though 6 months of revenue had somehow vanished. Maya's lawyer delivered bad news. The partnership agreement she'd signed, the one Claire had prepared and she'd barely read, gave Claire controlling interest and first claim to business assets. Fighting it would cost more than Maya had left. She'd been outmaneuvered by someone she'd trusted completely, someone she'd been maid of honor for, someone whose dog she still had photos of on her phone. Most people would have walked away broken. Maya spent exactly 3 days crying. Then she got angry. Then she got strategic. She realized something Claire hadn't considered. Maya knew every single one of those recipes by heart, and more importantly, she knew their flaws. She'd been meaning to update them for months, but hadn't had time. Within 2 weeks, Maya had a new commercial kitchen space, smaller, cheaper, on the edge of town. She launched under a new name, True Haven Bakery. Her first move was reaching out to every client she could remember, but not to badmouth Claire. She simply introduced herself, mentioned she was starting fresh, and offered a limited friends and family discount. Most people were polite but non-committal. Then Maya did something clever. She created a new social media presence and started posting her updated recipes, the perfected versions. Better moisture, improved stability, enhanced flavors. She documented everything, teaching followers the mistakes to avoid without ever mentioning where those mistakes came from. Her content was generous, detailed, educational. People loved it. Meanwhile, Claire was discovering that stealing recipes and clients is easier than actually executing the work. The complaints started small. A cake that collapsed, buttercream that split in warm weather, flavors that didn't quite match what clients remembered. Claire had Maya's old notes, but not her instinct, her adjustments, her years of experience troubleshooting. Here's what Maya knew that Claire didn't. Baking is chemistry, and every recipe needs adjustment for altitude, humidity, oven temperature variations, even the specific brands of ingredients. Maya's written recipes were templates. The real knowledge had always been in her head. And now that knowledge was making her new business shine, while Claire's stolen empire started developing cracks. 6 months in, Maya got a phone call that made her smile. It was Jennifer, a client who'd been with Sweet Haven since the beginning, a corporate account worth $30,000 a year. "I don't know what happened," Jennifer said carefully, "but the quality isn't the same. Someone mentioned you'd started your own place?" Maya stayed professional. She never mentioned Claire at all. But here's where Maya's revenge went from satisfying to brilliant. She didn't just take back clients. She became Claire's supplier. When Claire got desperate and started looking for backup bakers for overflow work, Maya created a separate wholesale business under a different name. Claire never made the connection. For 8 months, Maya supplied the cakes that saved Claire's reputation, charging premium wholesale rates. She delivered perfect products that Claire packaged and sold as her own, taking credit while slowly going broke on the thin margins. Every cake Maya delivered was a reminder that Claire didn't have the skills she'd thought she was stealing. She'd only ever had access to Maya's talent. The calls from former Sweet Haven clients kept coming. Maya never solicited them. She didn't have to. The work spoke for itself. Each wedding cake that didn't collapse, each corporate order that arrived perfect and on time, each satisfied customer who posted glowing reviews. Meanwhile, Claire's social media filled with apologetic posts about supply chain issues and recipe adjustments. 18 months after the betrayal, Maya got the text she'd been waiting for. Claire wanted to meet for coffee. When they sat down across from each other, Maya barely recognized her former friend. Claire looked exhausted, older, defeated. "I'm closing Sweet Haven," Claire said quietly. "I'm drowning in debt and I can't keep up with demand. I don't suppose you'd consider coming back?" Maya took a slow sip of her coffee. "You stole my business, my recipes, my clients, and my savings," she said evenly. "Then you locked me out like I was nothing." Claire's eyes filled with tears. She tried to speak, but Maya held up a hand. This moment had been 2 years in the making. "I'm not angry anymore," Maya continued, and she meant it. "You actually did me a favor. Sweet Haven was built on your shortcuts in my work. True Haven is all mine. Better location, better clients, better reputation. I own it completely." She paused. "Oh, and that wholesale supplier you've been using? The one who kept you afloat this past year? You might want to check the business registration." Watching Claire's face as she understood, that was the moment. No screaming, no drama, just the quiet realization that she'd been paying Maya premium prices for her own survival, praising the quality while complaining she couldn't match it herself. The woman who'd stolen everything had been kept alive by the very person she'd betrayed. Maya stood to leave. "I hope you land on your feet, Claire. I really do." And the surprising thing, she meant that too. The revenge had never been about destruction. It had been about proving to herself that her talent, her integrity, and her work ethic were worth more than any partnership agreement. Claire's failure was just a side effect of trying to succeed with stolen goods. Today, True Haven Bakery employs 6 people and has a 3-month waiting list. Maya owns the building now. She teaches baking classes on weekends and never mentions where the common mistakes in her lessons come from. She heard Claire moved to another state and started working for someone else's bakery. Maya doesn't check anymore. The best revenge turned out to be building something better than what was stolen, then watching the thief realize that what they took was never really the valuable part. The recipes were just words on paper. The real ingredient had always been Maya. So here's the question. If someone betrayed you and took everything, would you have the patience to let them destroy themselves, or would you need something more?